Good evening and welcome to another session of Good Night Meditation. Hope everybody's enjoying the summer warmth. If you are in an area where there is summer season right now. And also enjoying the variety of practices that you've been exposed to so far. Today we're going to reflect on the topic of caring for the real self. This is something that's being talked about a lot around conversations of caring for the self, mainly focusing on the body and the physical self, which is important. But today we will focus on the whole being, which it also involves the non-physical self, that invisible component of ourself that sometimes is easy to ignore. And Raja Yoga meditation is really about caring and nurturing that inner being, that invisible life force that is making this body move and allowing the real being to express and experience this material world. So just like looking at the simple analogy of the car and the driver, we can take care of the car very well, by doing the maintenance routinely, putting good fuel into the car, washing it and keeping it clean, keeping it in a protective environment, etc. But if the driver is ignored and not cared for, when there's a journey that is undertaken, the journey may not go so smoothly. So in many ways, our lives are spent taking a lot of energy and time into caring for the car, the body, and ignoring the driver, that invisible spirit, soul that is directing and moving this body, hearing through the ears, seeing through the eyes, making sense of what's being heard, etc. So let's take a few moments to connect with that inner being and check in and see where the awareness is, where the feelings and thoughts are. And reflect on the day. Where was the focus? Was it on taking care of the car? Or was there attention to caring also for the driver behind? So in this moment, we let go of all the activities from the day and come into the awareness of the present moment by paying attention to our breath. And after checking that the body is comfortable, relaxed, and alert, Bringing our attention to the area behind the eyes, that invisible presence, the observer who's listening and seeing. Tune into that being of awareness, the observer is very silent, neutral, and at ease. Distinct, separate from the costume of the body, as if just visiting temporarily, as if using the body, as if using a rental car for a temporary time. These analogies help us to loosen that grip, that attachment to the identity of the body as the real self. The real self is distinct and separate from the body costume. And this awareness is useful, especially before going to rest. Allowing the journey of the day to be put aside so the driver can also rest. Peacefully. And just tuning in into the silence, into this stillness of the observer is enough to begin with, to nurture, to care for that real self that has been ignored or neglected for quite some time. So even in these moments of silence between the words, observe that shift of energy. There's a feeling of freedom, feeling of lightness, independence. And holding that connection with this real being, the real self, is like recharging the battery, like plugging in the driver, not just the car. And even just a few seconds, if it's done accurately, there's an inner shift that can happen, helping the soul to feel rested and recharged. So, when ready, coming back to the awareness of the room or the space that we're in, we understand and see the distinction, the difference between the car and the driver. And even in the next little bit of time that's left before going to rest fully, see how long we can hold that awareness of the difference between the driver and the car, the body and the soul, clearly, and how that changes the energy behind the actions we perform. It's quite powerful if there's real full attention. So enjoy experimenting and playing with this. Till next time. Om Shanti. Good night.